Right.
And it's mostly things like, he talks a lot about dragoons.
Mike off.
All
Oh,
Mike
oh,
on.
he's got a ton of dragoons, right? And that dragoons were not that heavily used through the period of the Civil Wars. Now, they started gaining popularity after that,
mm-hmm.
and by 1700, 1720, they not only existed, but were usually used as actual cavalry, which he has them being used as cavalry quite a bit, which is not the case in the 30 Years' War or the Civil War. They did not use dragoons as cavalry ever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they weren't even mounted, and that's the case even into Blenheim. If you remember when we gamed Blenheim, there's a bunch of dismounted French dragoons, particularly over on the French right flank.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's because the real cavalry took all their horses, which wasn't uncommon, right? That if the cavalry needed remounts, they would take the crappy horses that the dragoons had, and the dragoons would fight like infantry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he talks all the time about, in fact, particularly during the 30 Years' War period of the book, he's really a captain of dragoons. There's several actions he participates in, and Gustav gives him dragoons to go do it.
Oh yeah.
Which I can't think of any Swedish army that had that many dragoons. But now what they did have, and what he doesn't talk about, is arquebusiers, mounted arquebusiers, who actually typically fought mounted, not dismounted.
Mm-hmm.
And were not terribly effective, but most of those guys converted over to being dragoons later. So I think there was some, from everything I've read, there's some confusion. There was confusion amongst historians in the 18th and 19th centuries as to, were those mounted arquebusiers really dragoons or not? And
Right.
the conclusion today seems to be that they were not, right? They fought mounted for the most part. And when you needed, now, by the time you get to the Civil War, as we can see with this very game, you did have some dragoons. But those guys, again, in the musket and pike game, you can't even get them mounted. They're always depicted as dismounted.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the battle descriptions are really very good.
Right. I mean, all the battles, it seemed like they were right after reading the. Okay. So I read it. It started off in with the 1632 series, but it just shows how well that series is, because it maps up to what the memoirs show too.
Yep. No, they really did a good job. Everything that I've read in some pretty serious, historical resources, Defoe's book is not incorrect. I mean, he covers the battles really, really well. I was very interested in his depiction of Nordlingen.
Mm-hmm.
He got that really pretty much dead on right. Um, and he does, yeah, I think he does a pretty good job with Edgehill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was a totally different picture with it coming down off the hill, which you don't see in the game coming down off the
Right,
hill.
right, yeah. The and it happened. They really did it.
Hmm.
Um,
And I also like talking about the reason for the battle, trying to get into London.
right. That is entirely, what was going on there was the the king trying to outmaneuver Essex, because if they could capture London, then Parliament pretty much was done.
Right.
Now, Essex would have probably had, or the king would have had a tough fight, probably, because the London militia was prepared. And although they were militia, they were trained militia.
Hmm.
And, really all they had to do was defend the gates. And the king doesn't have a big siege train. So I'm not sure he could have got in unless he had really beaten Essex so badly that there was no parliamentarian field army
Right.
at all. Um, but you never know. I mean, he could have shown up and the London militia could have gone, you know what, let's just give up. That happened
Hmm.
sometimes.
Right.
So, um, but yeah, I'm glad you liked it, because I was really surprised when I ran across it
Oh yeah.
and started reading it. I was like, wait a minute, this was written in like 1720?
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said it could have it could have been one of the 1632 add-on
Yeah,
novels.
yeah, it really could have been. It's that good.
Hmm.
It's really engaging and very well written and very readable. I've told several people about it.
Hmm.
I think you're about the only one that's bothered to read it, but
Yeah. Well, so along those same lines, I've moved up the top of my reading list the Journal of the Plague Year, London 1665 by Defoe.
oh yeah, yeah.
So that got, I mean, it's kind of
Hmm.
perfect timing to read that, I think.
It is. It's perfect timing to
Yeah.
read that.
I mean, I guess I did it. Okay, I had no idea how old Robinson Crusoe was. You see
Right.
the
Hmm.
Disney movies, you see the books and everything like that, but that and there's also I put down on my list a general history of pirates.
Hmm. Hmm.
What other? Oh, Molly Flanders. I want to read that too. That sounded interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that, when you stop and think about it and realize Defoe wasn't really writing a historical novel when he wrote Robinson Crusoe. He was writing about his own times.
Right. Exactly.
He wasn't going, oh, I'll write, this historical romance. He was writing about, you know,
Exactly.
it, Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. You know what it really is? It's the equivalent of that recent science fiction novel that got made into a movie called The Martian.
Oh yeah.
That's
Exact.
what
Oh
Robin Crusoe is. It's exactly the same thing.
yeah. That's what it is.
When you understand when Defoe was writing and when he was alive, those kind of sea journeys were the equivalent of a trip to Mars.
Right. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. In 16. Yeah. That would. Yeah. Exactly.
I
I,
mean, it probably was about the same time. It probably took about the same time.
Disney's first movie probably did not do it justice because they were not using ships from Defoe's time,
Right, right.
and
Yeah,
so
they were
it's
using newer stuff.
right. So it made it look a heck of a lot more modern and more. This is a everyday type of
Hmm.
thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and it made it look 19th century.
Well, I'm gonna have to move.
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and it wasn't.
Hmm.
It was 17th century. It was 200 years before that.
Right. So I think I'm going to have to read Robinson Crusoe from an adult's point of view now. After because
Right,
yeah.
right. I'll tell you another set of books that if you've never read but you've only seen the movies
Hmm.
is Dumas' Three Musketeers.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, again, he was writing later. He was writing in the 19th century,
Right.
but D'Artagnan is a historical figure. He actually existed,
Hmm.
and he was actually a marshal of France
Okay.
around the same time as Turenne. So, about around the same time as Defoe was writing about.
Hmm. Well, is it
And
Richelieu should be in that series too, right? In the
oh yeah,
Yep.
Richelieu's in that series. Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Okay. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds like I'll have to read that. Pick up that.
they're
I.
good. They're really well done if you can find a good English translation.
Hmm.
Um, and they're a much better read than any movie that anybody's ever done about them.
Hmm. Well, that would have been probably would piqued my interest because I took 2 years of French. I did French in high school and then 2 years
Oh, okay.
in 2 years in college. Now, if we had probably had like the Three Musketeers to read in our sophomore year of it, it would probably
Hmm.
because I decided to switch to Russian my junior and senior year, and,
Oh, okay.
and the junior year was kind of rough to get it started, but then senior year we had to read Tolstoy's. Oh come on, oh, come on, it's on the tip of my tongue. Napoleonics. What was it?
No, War and Peace.
Yeah, War and Peace.
Yeah. Hmm.
The professor had just come from some other big high school on the East Coast. I can't remember where he was from. So he was real gung ho, and he never spoke anything to us but in Russian. So
Oh, wow. Reading War and Peace is a chore on its own. Reading War and Peace in Russian.
yeah, but well, I didn't get that. I didn't get that far, but it did perk my it perked all of our interest to do something more than just because it was easier doing that to me than actually carrying on conversations in Russian.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would imagine so. I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I just bought because I kept running across his name. Um, there was a French. Pull it up here. It was a French commander during the again sort of the same little bit earlier period. Basically during the Italian Wars and then the French Wars of Religion. So the early 1500s to the mid 1500s,
Right.
who wrote an actual set of memoirs about his time as a soldier. Um, Blaise de Montluc, Monluc, has a book called Commentaries,
Okay.
and he was a Gascon. And for 99 cents, you can find an English translation of that now for Kindle on Amazon.
Okay. I will have to look that up.
And you know, it's the same thing as Memories of a Cavalier,
Hmm.
but written by this French guy taking place about a century earlier.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be interesting because I'm not as familiar with that period of time as.
Yeah, it's that's a really interesting period of time, and it's something I've been reading a lot about and actually doing some gaming on. I've got a pair of games about the French Wars of Religion,
Right.
and the the whole thing starts in 1494 with the invasion of Italy by Charles VIII of France.
Right.
And the first major battle is the Battle of Fornovo, which is nearly indistinguishable from a medieval battle, right? It's almost impossible to tell a difference in tactics or anything else from Fornovo and, say, a battle during the Wars of the Roses,
Okay.
right? And frankly, I think, what year was Bosworth? Bosworth may have been close to then.
I think.
Look here.
Oh,
Yeah, 1485. So the Battle of Bosworth was only 9 years before the Battle of Fornovo.
okay.
Um, the biggest difference is the French had a large and very sophisticated artillery train.
Hmm.
They didn't have a bunch of handgunners or arquebusiers or anything like that, but they had a big artillery train, and it made it almost impossible for any of the Italian cities to resist Charles. And he basically blitzkriegs the length of Italy in about 2 months.
Hmm. That's like one game we
And,
played, wasn't it? That we were doing it.
well, that's it. Yeah, the one game we played
Hmm.
is set in basically the next campaign
Okay.
after Fornovo. Um, the big thing that happens is, so
Mic
Charles
off.
gets all the way down, he conquers Naples,
Mic on.
but he doesn't control the Western Med. The Spanish do. And all the Italian city states and minor kingdoms and the Pope go, yeah, you know what? Let's quit fighting each other because we're really worried the French are going to take over. And they all band together, and the Spanish throw in with them, as well as the Holy Roman Empire. At which point Charles goes, huh, I am basically cut off in the south of Italy. I better go back to France. So he takes off marching north, and the League army meets him at Fornovo, which is up in Lombardy, across the Pennines, almost into, it's basically just sort of southwest of Milan. And the French pretty much beat the Italians pretty badly.
Hmm.
The whole spin-off of all of this eventually is, so the Spanish throw a bunch of troops into Naples in order to take the kingdom back over,
Right.
and they get beat in the first battle that they fight because the French have really good cavalry. And the Spanish go, you know what? We don't have a lot of good heavy cavalry, because all they had were a bunch. They had some really good light cavalry because they'd been fighting the Moors, throwing the Muslims out. And having a bunch of heavy cavalry doesn't do you any good when you're fighting Muslims, because they're all light cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
So Gonzalo de Cordoba, who is the Spanish commander, goes, well, how am I going to beat the French cavalry, and how am I going to beat the Swiss pikemen? Because that's the other thing. The French had hired a bunch of Swiss,
Mm-hmm.
and so he arms all of his guys with arquebuses, and they dig trenches,
Mm-hmm.
and he entices them to attack, and he just shoots the shit out of them, and that begins the whole musket and pike era.
Right.
So after that, it starts looking the battles start looking a lot like what we're doing at Edgehill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in fact, one of the other big innovations. So the French cavalry are all, and I've got the game up, by the way,
Oh,
if you want
okay.
to connect.
That's what I was going to ask.
No, it's been up the whole time.
Okay.
I just noticed that you hadn't connected.
Yeah.
The
I.
French are using gendarmes. They're basically knights,
Hmm.
right, with lances and the whole bit. And in about the 1530s, 1540s.
Yeah, looks like I'm going to have to back out for some reason.
Huh, the the Germans take some of their light cavalry,
Mm-hmm.
give them better armor, and equip them with pistols. And they're called reiters, Reiters, which literally just means riders.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Okay. I'm in the main room now. I'm just going to click over here.
That's interesting. I don't see you.
And it says waiting for game information synchronization to complete.
All right, I just ditched. Let me come back in.
Okay. So then I'm going to have to get out too then, right? Make it clean. Maybe I just waited. We waited too long. I goofed up.
Oh, I think I may have waited too long. Okay, let me create a new room.
Okay.
You know what? It's doing that same crazy thing again.
What is the not weren't this?
Yeah, let me just ditch out completely.
Okay. I'm just waiting on the welcome screen.
Come on, Vassal. Yeah, sitting here and yakking. It timed out.
Oh, I guess I got charged for the Iron Man tri pack.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, the room is just called Game.
Okay. All right. So
If you happen to see Edgehill, don't join that one. That seems to be the room that died again.
okay, I see one called game,
Yeah, that's the one.
and it looks much better
Yep,
now.
I see you in there.
Yeah. Perfect. Uh, turn 6.
Tell you the other thing I really liked about Memoirs of a Cavalier
Mm-hmm.
was how much he covered the Little War, the minor action stuff,
Oh yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
the skirmishes, because that's really where most of that fighting happened, and that never gets written about.
Mm-hmm.
He captured that very well. All right, I'll tell you what, because we've been sitting here talking, I just drank a whole glass of water, so I got to run to the bathroom.
Okay.
But I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
Mic off, mic on.
Let's see here. Where's Prince Rupert? Uh-huh.
Mic off.
All right. So, were we done with 6? You still there?
Mic on.
I was on mute.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm back.
no problem. Were we done with turn 6, or
Yes,
it's just starting turn 6?
we were done with because we done three turns, and now we're gonna get slowed down here. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we're at the end. We're finishing turn 6. I don't think we had anything left to do, right?
No, I just think we just didn't move it forward because it looks like
Yeah, and we didn't clean up the salvo markers and stuff yet,
right. They're on there. I see them.
but we did flip the leaders. So it looks like we just need to clean up salvo markers.
Right.
And this guy, everything else looks right. So we're going to turn 7.
Right.
5 p.m. turn 7. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, it's charges, and
Yeah.
that'll start with Rupert.
Hey, Adrian. Yes, I can see your chat. Did you see me chatting back to you? I hope. This one of the guys was just sending a chat message up on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
I think we got 2 people watching tonight. Had
Oh, cool.
one person was there all during our conversation on the books and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. So,
I didn't know you had Twitch up. I would have not run on so long.
oh, it's okay.
All right. Well, so it's Rupert.
Okay. Let's see what's. Well, first I think. Oh, remind me. Units that are formation broken don't move or anything. Then, right?
Correct. They do not move at all.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, so first we're going to activate King Charles.
Yep.
And he's going to ride over to this Byron Joker here.
Okay.
Wow, wrong way. I continually do that.
It's hard to remember.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So get him prepared there. Let's see here. Which way is this guy facing? Okay, so the Prince of Wales is going to have to change his facing a little bit, looks like.
Okay, reaction fire.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that was going to happen.
Where's Rupert?
Rupert's right there on top of it. I just moved him off to the side.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's there.
I wasn't sure which one he was on. Okay, let me get my dreaded player aid card.
Yep.
All right, so reaction fire from Ballard out of the flank.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe these firers got any negatives. Not moving cavalry. -1 for every 2 casualty points on a 2 hex unit. We have not been doing that.
Oh, where's that one at?
On the heavy infantry musketry table.
Oh, I just see that. How do we miss that?
I don't know. And there's -1 for each casualty points on a 1 hex unit.
Huh. I think they just put it on there, Doug.
It snuck in the last 2 weeks.
Well, how long have we been playing this game? That's the first time I've seen that.
I know, like 2 months, and neither one of us saw it.
And my copy's from what, 14, 15 years ago?
Right.
Oh, that makes a difference.
Okay. So he's -1 on his flank shot because he's 2 points down.
Oh, so that's going to make a big difference when we start firing between our software.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No wonder that first time we played, it was just kind of brutal.
It was brutal.
Okay.
Okay, so roll to 6 -1 is a 5. On a flank shot is 1 casualty.
Okay.
And the first thing you got to do is see if Rupert makes it. And he does.
Let's see here.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, we're rolling d10s. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. I'm putting casualties on here.
Yeah, your horse takes a casualty. It's a 3. See if that casualty thresholds him. So his casualty threshold is a 2, so he's now at his casualty threshold.
Okay. So I guess I don't need to change any more facing there. He's okay to fire. He's in position now.
Correct.
Okay. Now
he's not got any pistols, so you'll have to close combat.
Right. Oh, yep. That's my plan here. And who's this guy here? Maurice. Maurice is changing his facing. How'd that happen now?
I think you still have the other one selected. I've seen that happen before. It's weird.
Okay, and there's him.
There is no reaction fire there.
Nope. And let's see when were the King's Light.
Yeah, click anywhere, and then you can move this guy back.
Who's this guy?
The Prince of Wales.
Oh, he was. Oh, did I move him too? No, Prince of Wales.
He rotated. When you rotated.
Where's the Prince of? Yeah. Oh, he rotated again.
When you rotated Maurice, the Prince of Wales rotated 1 vertex.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
How about that?
There you go. Yeah, that's how it was.
Let's see here now. Let's see here now. There we go. The Rupert's on top. Oh, come on, Rupert, get back on top.
Yeah, this is the other thing this does. and it starts being turned into a pain in the butt to get Rupert on top, you actually have to remove him out of the stack.
Okay. All right. I think that's all my movement. We're gonna go here and start with the King's Light Guard,
Okay.
and they're going to hit your independent troops.
Okie doke.
Under Ramsey.
Okay, so here's what we got. I've got a wing commander, but he's a 0, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Morale differential. You're an 8. I'm a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a plus. You get a +2.
Right.
Strength ratio. You're a 1. I'm a 3.
Yep.
That's a -2.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at 0. Nothing on the close combat matrix. Have I got any? I'm going to expend a pistol shot.
And so am I. I got one pistol left.
Yep. So we're both still at 0. For each flank rear hex. Nope, no flank rear.
Hey, Doug, what scale is this game?
In terms of,
I guess the ground scale and troop.
Those are 100 yards.
Yeah, this is 1642, and was one casualty. Was it how many men is it? About 100 probably, or
and with cavalry units, it's 80 to 100.
Okay. These are some questions that are popping up in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 80 to 100. A strength point is 80 to 100 men, depending on whether it's infantry or cavalry. Ground scale's 100 yards to the hex. It may be 100 meters. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of these units are, when you look at Gerard, for example, that starts at 18. It's really a brigade.
Yeah.
It's 1,800 men.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1,800 men, so it's pretty big.
And the blue counters is the Royalist, and the red counters is Parliament.
Right.
Okay, so.
Right.
So we are
Battle of Edgehill, first major battle of the English Civil War. So we're at 0.
Mm-hmm.
The attacker is not got formation shaken or anything.
He does? No, I don't. That's right.
The defender is formation shaken. So that gives you a +1. And that's the long and short of it, is a +1.
What about the terrain?
Oh, the terrain. We forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you're attacking across a hedge hex side, which is -1. So it's 0. It's 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's just plain roll them and let's see what we get.
9. Oh, that sounds like a good number.
Look at that. Look at that. Defender eliminated.
Somebody was sweating, and that was me.
Yeah, I know. I really didn't expect you to do that, but
so an 80 cavalry. This is like right out of Memoirs of the Cavalier.
It is. Yeah, you got about 80 cavalrymen
taking on
hit.
What 200?
About 250, 260,
and destroyed them. But
and
now
they routed.
But now I got to see where they're pursued after them.
Correct.
Let's see here. Where's our person?
You don't have cavalry momentum. You are under a charge order, so it's +1.
Mm-hmm. Now don't roll like I just did. 3.
Yeah.
4. A 4.
Okay, so that's pursue and eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
So your formation broken.
First, I got to move forward, don't I?
Yeah, you move forward and then your formation broken.
Mm-hmm. But I don't go off the table. That's one good thing.
You do not. However,
you got some troops around you.
yeah, and that That counts as movement.
Right. Right. My advancing forward is movement. So.
Yep. So the musketeers are going to fire.
Mm-hmm.
And they hit on an 8 or 9. However, their formation shaken.
Mm-hmm. Or I am. Oh, they are, and I'm formation broken, right?
Your formation broken, which doesn't matter for fire combat.
What about the defenders in a hedgerow? +1.
We both are though.
Yeah, but there is no. It just says defender. Doesn't have anything for the attacker.
In the tech, right? But remember, we were saying that hey, if both of us are, we're
right.
on the road.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I guess it would be the other guy, right? Next.
Correct.
Well, but
Yeah.
he's cavalry, so he'd have to do a charge me anyway.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a close combat.
Okay, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, we're both in
Yep.
there.
So it's a -1 to the die roll, which is a 2, which is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me see here. Am I gonna? That guy can't do anything anyway because he's formation broken.
Oh,
Ramsey's formation broken.
Oh, I did. Let me see here. Oh, how about that?
Yeah, so we're all just sitting here glaring at each other, and the musketeers are fruitlessly firing down the lane.
The King's light guard is looking around for their dragoons. Where are you?
Exactly. Where's my foot?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all 60 or 70 of them that are left.
Okay. All right, Rupert. Okay.
And who are no longer with the king.
All right. I guess.
Oh, the other thing is they're in command.
Yeah.
All right. So
they're less than 3 away. Everybody's all of Rupert's guys are in command.
Yep, all of Rupert's guys are in command. Okay, so are you going to try a continuation or
try to melee the Balford?
Okay, you're going to do a close combat on Ballard.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
No, just a second. That's 4 guys. No, we're just stay still. We're not going to do anything.
Yeah, I wondered if you were going to do that.
the king's light guard charge made me over.
You got one guy with pistols. Everybody's formation shaken, and it's 12-3. So,
but Prince Rupert would love those odds.
You're right. He would, and he absolutely would. He would eat that up.
And he's right near. He would be doing it right in front of King Charles, so he probably would love doing it.
Mm-hmm. He would love doing it. Rupert would make that charge.
But he glances over to King Charles, and King Charles kind of shakes his head and says no.
He shakes his head and says, "Please, not yet. We need to go another few years so that you can doom my cause at Marston Moor."
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna try for a continuation.
Okay, I will. I'll let you do it.
Okay, so got my. Let's see here, my wing commander's rating. So that's a -2 to Dyro. Right? These are minuses, right?
Correct. Fielding somehow ended up with no orders over here, and I can't remember what he had. Do your roll, but I'm trying to remember.
So I think I got a +1 because I'm next to my wing commander's next to the enemy that's not broken.
Ah, that's true.
So it's just a -1.
That's true.
So, but then I'm going to throw my -1 in for my cavalry wing.
Right. So your wing commander is -2.
2, right? And then the cavalry.
And then you get a +1.
Right. So it takes it.
So you got a total of a -3 +1.
Right.
So you're a -2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're a -2.
Yep. -2. And do I continue 0 to 3
on a charge on a continuation? Not anywhere close.
Nope.
Nope. Rupert's done.
Yeah. Well, He did add another cavalry unit to
He
the
did. He did.
to the
Absolutely,
Deadpool.
he did.
Hmm.
Do
Okay.
Do you remember what fielding was over on my over towards the west of the battlefield with those dragoons?
Oh, what his orders were?
What his orders were? Because he's got nothing right now.
Uh,
I
I,
want to say he must have been under charge orders.
I couldn't tell you. Just go ahead. It's fine.
Because he moved up. He's got these dragoons in line.
Hmm.
Um,
And I know, and that's the reason why I had to turn my
right.
front to him.
Yeah, and the only way he could maneuver to be close would be if he was, in charge. So
Charge or make ready, one of the two. So let's go ahead and do charge. It's fine.
if he's make ready,
He's went away, which would have been make ready, but you can go charge.
yeah, I think he must have been in charge because otherwise it kind of wouldn't have mattered
Hmm.
um, for you. But all right, let's put him in charge because I think I had everybody in charge. I think that was where we had ended up.
Yeah. The only real terrain in this scenario is the green hedgerows along the roads and on the
Yep.
side.
Everything else is basically clear.
Right. And what you don't see in this is, I mean, even that brown over there is not really a hill or of anything, is it? Just
No, it's just a field.
yeah. And
Um,
the royalists came down off of a hill, so down into the fields, and that's where the battle is taking
right.
place.
Now, from the book that I read, which is sort of the latest scholarship on the battle, the initial Protestant position, or the initial parliamentarian position, back up here towards what looks like the north edge of the map, right sort of to the west of that stream, should actually be a small hill. The area right to the west of the stream should be a small hill, and Charles Essex brigades were up on that hill. In fact, they couldn't even really be seen by the Royalists. So this map's not quite right. And I will proudly say, even though it wasn't my scenario, that the Battle of Edgehill scenario that is in Horse and Musket has the correct terrain. The hill is actually there, so Sean did it correctly.
Oh, so he gave you the option in that one to stay on the hill.
Yeah, not only is the hill there for the Royalists,
Mm-hmm.
but the hill that Parliament has on the left end of their line is there.
Mic off. Mic
so on. The reality is the Royalists pretty much have to attack because they're trying to get to London.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah.
So they're going to come down off the hill that they're on. Only an idiot Parliament commander would try and attack them up that hill. Mm-hmm. But they also have a hill that doesn't show up on this map that Parliament should actually be on. But it's not on this particular map. The other thing that's on the Horse and Musket map is the whole total area is large enough that the town that the Parliament horse retreats to, mm-hmm. which is way off the top of the map here. It's where Rupert and all the cavalry chase, and where there's actually some parliamentarian reinforcements coming from. That's on the Horse and Musket map and in the Horse and Musket scenario. So maybe we should play that after we play this, just as a contrast.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
and maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days we can do it in face to face, in person.
Yeah, exactly. Balfour. It's Balfour.
Mm-hmm.
And so Balfour is going to do a couple of things. The first thing is Balfour's not doing any movement.
Okay.
He's going to, so the Earl of Essex is activating.
Okay.
And he's going to go ahead and fix this formation shaken.
The formation broken guy to formation shaken.
He was formation shaken.
Okay. Okay.
And now he's all better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Bedford's horse is all better. In terms of what this formation is actually going to do, first thing that's going to happen, we're not doing any move at all. And so now it's fire combat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can do move or we can do fire. So we're going to do some firing.
Okay.
The first firing that's going to happen is Meldrum 1 is going to advance fire.
Okay.
He's going to do advancing fire like that, as if you didn't know that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get a flank reaction fire there if you wanted.
Yeah, I probably would do it. Well, I have to do that second. You have to do your fire first, right?
No, oh, that's right, because it's not movement.
Right.
So yeah, so you would get reaction fire just due to my fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go. Meldrum 1 is going to do, might as well, salvo fire.
But he can't do salvo fire for advancing fire.
You're right. He's got to do advancing fire or not. He can't do them both.
Right.
Okay, so he's doing advancing fire,
Mm-hmm.
which means he's a -3.
Right.
But he's also
down, what, 6 down? So he's another -3.
-3, yeah. So he's -6
Mm-hmm.
with his advancing fire. And it literally doesn't seem to matter that I'm on your flank.
Nope.
Yeah, that only seems to really matter for close combat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so -6 to the die roll. Ooh, how about nothing?
Perfect.
How about nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Let's see. Okay. And my flank's going to return fire.
Right. And you have only lost 1, so you're at full. You don't take any minuses for that.
Yep. So it's just even up for me.
Yep, it's even up for you.
And how about that?
An 8 out of the flank is 1 more.
Mm-hmm. What's the casualty limit on those guys? Or probably no
Casualty threshold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near. So his original strength is 18 plus and a morale of 7. His casualty threshold is a 6.
Okay.
So 5 more and he's reached casualty threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and Ballard will salvo fire
Mm-hmm.
on Gerard.
Okay.
And the only negative modifier here is the fact that he's at a 12, so he's a -1.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he's good to go. I can't freaking believe that.
How about that?
I can't believe that. The Parliament apparently sitting around for 2 weeks just made them done.
I guess.
All right, Lord General's
But
salvo fire.
Gerard needs to do his reaction
Yeah,
fire.
Gerard gets to fire back. Yeah.
And he
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
What?
minute. Wait a minute. I get another shot.
That's right. You rolled only once.
I get another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal. Minus one.
Right.
Salvo. So it's a 3 salvo fire. It's a 1.
One
Took
casualty.
1 casualty.
Mm-hmm. Just enough to cause him to start taking a negative.
Right. And because it was salvo fire, you have to take a morale check.
Mm-hmm. 7. Morale 7.
Mm-hmm.
0.
Guess what? You lost a morale level.
Why?
Oh, no, it was you rolled a 0. Oh, you got to roll that number or less. Yeah.
I was going to say.
You're good. You're good.
It's not a 10.
Yeah, it's not that level. It's not that number or more. It's that number or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you passed.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been dying if it was that much more.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your salvo. Now my salvo in return.
Okay, so you're going to salvo fire?
Yep, and a -1 now. All right. For casualty.
Yeah.
For casualty.
You gotta mark your guy. So you're actually doing salvo fire.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, I'm doing salvo fire.
Okay, so you get 2 return shots.
Mm-hmm.
-1. They're at -1.
Right. Okay, the first one is a 4.
Oh, you know what?
What?
You should have been a morale check +1. Not that it mattered, but we need to remember that. Because it was 2 salvo fire shots.
I thought they both had to do casualties. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Right, it's salvo fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you took that. You got 2 casualties so far.
Okay.
And the second shot is miss.
Nope, nothing.
So, you got 2 casualties, and
Yep.
and you've got and you've got a morale +1.
Yep, it's a morale check +1. And he passes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so Lord General's salvo fire
Okay.
on to Belisile, or Belisais.
Yeah.
And he's a -1 because he's got 2
Mm-hmm.
2 down.
How about that?
A 2 on salvo fire is 1 hit.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a 1 so far.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good.
And a 6, that's worth 2. So you took 3 casualties.
3, and I got to take a morale +1.
You have to actually take a morale +2.
Oh, because you hit me twice.
Because you're a 7 and you took 3 casualties
Mhm.
total. So that's an extra +1.
Let me fix. I pushed the wrong button here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't, but Astley's there,
Yep.
so you get a -1 for him. So
Uh-huh.
it's a morale check +1 instead of a morale check +2.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only if Astley doesn't die. So you need to roll for Astley.
4.
And he's fine.
And the morale check.
Morale check +1.
Which he doesn't.
Guess what?
He doesn't make
Which he
it.
does not. Yeah, he doesn't make it.
So morale's shaken then, right?
Yep, morale shaken. All right, now you are returning fire.
Right, and we mark him salvo. And I got a -2 for casualties.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's it, isn't it?
Yep, that's it. -2.
-2. All right.
Salvo fire.
My first shot. A
Owie! That's
6.
6. That was 2. That's
And,
2.
yep. And my next one, it's a 1. So it's 1 casualty.
Right. Okay. So he is going to take a morale check +2.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got a morale of 7 and he's got a 3, and he had to take a morale check for the salvo fire. Or is it a morale check +3? Got to go back and look at the rule book on that salvo fire morale.
You already took your casualties. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I took my casualties, but let me look at the rule book here real quick. I want to say that I'm wrong.
I don't remember you saying anything like that, but that I could admit.
I think it's you just take a morale check because it's salvo fire, not 2 morale checks. 1 for each, but I could be wrong.
I think that we should. I thought it was. That's what the pluses were for. Remember?
Yeah, that's what the plus is. That's what I mean. That's
Mm-hmm.
I think it's you take if you take any salvo fire from a 2 hex unit,
Mm-hmm.
it's a morale check +1. But I'm not positive, so hold on. Okay. Targets of salvo fire must make a morale check. Yeah, we know. 10.6.3.
And then I thought the pluses came from when you got hit. Like
They do. My question is, if we take, I fired at you with salvo fire twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, here it is. If a unit is the target of salvo fire by both sides of a 2 hex unit at the same time, the unit incurs only 1 morale check due to salvo fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not 2, it's 1.
That's what we were just doing. Is 1. No.
I know, but that's what I wanted to go look up to
Okay.
make sure we were doing it right.
Okay.
And it wasn't 2. I wanted to make sure I had to take a morale check +1, not a morale check +2. Because you hit me for salvo fire, and then you caused 3 casualties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a morale check +1, not a morale check +2.
Yeah. And that really wouldn't matter for me because I wrote a 7.
Right. Yep, but it did. I'm clear. I'm fine.
Well, hold on here. Let's see, because mine would have been it would have been a morale check +1, and Ashley made it a 0, and a 7 would have passed.
You're right.
That makes sense to you?
You're right. Yep. You would have been a morale check +1 because you took 3 casualties. So you did a morale check for this because you got fired on by salvo, and you did a morale check for the 3 casualties.
Mm-hmm.
And then Astley would have neutralized that, and so Bellacice would have actually passed.
Yep. Okay. So I'm putting him back.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That is correct.
I think we got it.
We shot each other up, but that's it.
Uh-huh.
All right. Meldrum 2 is going to go ahead and do the same shooting match. Salvo fire.
Yeah, but he's got a -2 for formation shaken.
-1.
-1 for formation shaken?
Oh no, -2. You're right.
Okay.
Yep, he's a -2, but he doesn't take any casualty
Right.
related
Right.
minuses.
Uh-huh.
Yep, so he's a -2. And that is it. Yep.
4.
So a 4. It's a 1.
Isn't that 2?
Or no, it's a 2. Yeah, I was looking on the wrong table.
Yep. 2 casualties so far.
Yep, you took 2 casualties.
And the next one? Ooh.
6.
So take total of 4 casualties.
Yep. Which with an 8 actually causes a +1.
For morale check.
So, yep, Byron's a morale check +1.
Mm-hmm. How about that? 7 + 1 is 8. Right on target.
That's enough. That's all you got to do.
All right.
That's all you got to do.
Okay, and so Byron is going to come back at you.
Okay.
He's going to -3 for casualties.
Right.
And he's doing salvo fire.
Okay.
First shot. 9-6. Okay, that's good.
That's 2.
Uh-huh. And the next
That'll
one,
be 2.
and the next one is 8. Oh,
That's
nice.
2 more.
So okay, so we're trading shots here.
Yeah, big time.
Hey, no, Adrian. Some of the troops are armed with pikes, and some of the troops are armed with muskets. I hope I bet you're just pulling my leg asking that question, aren't you?
Oh! Oh no! Oh no, dude!
Oh, Ballard.
Balfour just snuffs it.
Oops, big time.
Well, we gotta roll on the replacement table.
Yeah.
We rolled a 5. He is gone. Balfour is in the dead pile.
Oops. Oops.
Yeah, that's basically gonna do it.
That kind of some brutal shots going on over there between those two.
Yeah, yeah. Now, interestingly, this is the thing we've seen before. I sent him to the dead pile, but he's not in the dead pile.
Yeah, you're going to have to
He can't.
just pull a unit.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to pull a unit and move it over there.
Mm-hmm.
Pull a piece. It's
Yeah. Now that's a bad thing.
Let's see what. So we both did close to 400. It was 800 guys just killed in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to get a replacement. They didn't mention any replacements in the Memoirs of a Cavalier at this battle.
Yeah, there weren't really.
The rest of the guys.
Not at that level.
No.
Now there were a number of commanders that did snuff it.
Yeah. No, I just meant that I was just joking. The name they didn't mention many names during the Battle of Edgehill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
none of these high level guys lost it, but there were quite a few captains that did. Yeah. So the problem now is that with Balfour dead, look at the victory conditions.
How many points does he worth?
Yeah, it may not be worth continuing, is where I'm going.
Oh, well, yeah, I understand. A wing commander eliminated, right? 10 points.
Yeah.
Named wing commander. Oh, he's just a -1 wing commander, right? He's only worth 5 points. No, yeah, that's
Army
right.
commander. Each wing commander eliminated is 10 points.
But I thought there's mine has a a bracket that is a -2 wing commander or a -1 wing commander?
Yeah, you're looking at the generic VPs.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually have the folio for the game,
Yeah.
it's a different VP scale.
Okay.
And each wing commander eliminated is 10.
Okay.
So they count the same as a cavalry unit or a 2-hex infantry unit. So not as bad as losing the army commander.
Right. Okay. Actually, I was looking on the wrong side. I was.
But yeah, that's not. This has not been. That was not helpful.
No.
That was not helpful. All right, so that was.
You need to do your morale check for your infantry.
Yeah, that's right.
Now that
And
he's
that was a morale.
what is it? Morale
It was a
check
morale check plus
1, right?
plus 2, plus 2,
Why +2?
because he took 4 casualties.
I didn't think we. Okay. I thought it was only up to +1. I thought it was.
No. You just keep adding them.
Okay.
Um, let me check this, but morale check.
I thought it was morale check and then a +1 for the second morale check.
Yeah, but there's a third morale check
Oh, there is.
because he took 4 casualties with a morale of 7. Is what I'm looking at.
Uh-huh.
But there's only a morale check. So current unit morale of 7, 1 morale check on 2 or more hits during 1 fire combat. So it is only a morale check +1.
Okay. But.
Which he fails.
Yep.
Which he fails miserably.
Mm-hmm. Well, he saw.
And
He saw the wing commander buy it.
yeah, well, it would make sense. So he immediately 1, 2 retreats.
Why? Oh, because his formation's broken. I thought it
He
was
failed his morale check.
So
He's morale broken.
Okay. But you got information broken. Okay, yeah, okay. I thought with the first one was just.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't just?
Oh no, you're right. He's only that was a morale check, not a formation.
Mm-hmm.
So he's formation shaken, and now he's morale shaken.
Right. Yeah.
And he doesn't retreat.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded him retreating, but.
Well, he's not. Yeah, he's not morale broken. He's just morale shaken, which is not good anyway. But okay, so now we have close combat.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, we don't. We actually have advancing fire.
Where at?
Right here with Charles Essex.
Is Charles Essex in command? He can't move. You already
No,
said.
not the Earl of Essex.
No, the Charles.
Charles
Essex.
Essex won.
Right. So how is he?
That brigade.
Right, but if you turn him back the other way, he was more than 2 away from.
Yeah, well, he pivoted. It's advancing fire.
Right, but when you activate him, doesn't he have to be in command?
You're right. You're right. Well, he is. He is. He absolutely is. So his wing commander's right here.
Right.
So that's command. 1, 2. Actually, he's 3. You're right. He's 3 away.
That's what I kind of thought. I mean, I was trying to.
Yeah.
1, 2. See, you couldn't trace it to any of the cavalry because the cavalry's more than 3 away, and he's.
Yeah, but he can fire. Even if he's not in command, he can fire.
Right.
Now, what he does have to do is he has to move to put himself back in command before he can do anything. He should have moved, particularly because he's under a charge order.
Right.
So it's not like he can't move. He, in fact, has to move.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing advancing fire, what he's actually going to do is he's going to do that as a move.
Okay. Now he's in command.
And he's in command. But he can't fire because he moved.
Right.
So now we are at close combat.
Okay.
And because I really need to have some kind of redeeming thing happen during this, Charles Essex is going to close combat Byron's formation broken cavalry with King Charles.
Okay.
All right, so wing commander or army commander. You have an army commander, but his rating is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Morale differential. My morale's a 6. Your morale's a 6, so there's no morale differential. Strength ratio. I would be a 20.
Mm-hmm.
You would be a 2.
10 to 1.
10 to 1. That's a +2. Close combat matrix. Heavy infantry versus cuirassier is a +1. So now we're at a +3. Defending cavalry expends a pistol shot. You going to expend a pistol shot?
Yeah, might as well. I don't know if that's going to help us much, but we will do it.
Okay, that's at a +2.
Okay, pistol shot.
All right. You are formation broken.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not formation broken. I'm not formation shaken. I didn't fire salvo. I don't have heavy infantry momentum. I definitely don't have cavalry momentum. However, you are formation broken, which is +2. Added on top of the +2 I already had, that puts me at +4.
Right. 6.
6, which is defender morale shaken.
Mm-hmm.
Defender retreat 2 hexes. Attacker must advance into the vacated hex. But before you do that, you got to roll to see if Charles snuffs it. And he does not.
No. So just 2 hexes? Like.
But your morale shaken.
Yeah.
Which is a problem because you're okay. So now your morale broken.
I just made myself morale shaken.
You just made yourself morale shaken.
I was only formation broken.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So yeah, you gotta retreat 2, which you can't retreat 2 because there's cavalry in the way.
I mean,
so let's look at.
That's not 2, like going that direction.
I don't know. Let's look at retreat priorities.
I wouldn't think I'd go back on my own.
Okay, when you retreat a unit, you must follow these priorities in order, starting with the first.
Mm-hmm.
You must move it away from the enemy unit it was involved in the close combat with.
Okay.
This is the most rigid requirement and means that you may not move the retreating unit into a hex adjacent to that involved enemy unit.
Okay.
Number 2, you must then attempt to move it towards the friendly map edge for that battle. As long as you do not move the unit adjacent to the involved enemy unit, you may move it adjacent to other enemy units. Eliminate any unit that retreats off map.
Okay.
You must and then 3 is you must follow the path of least resistance. That is the path that would cost the least number of movement points to reach the map edge.
Okay.
Stacking and retreats. Units may not retreat into or through friendly units during a retreat. Exception: a unit may retreat through an artillery unit, but the artillery unit is immediately marked with a disabled gun marker. A light infantry / cavalry stack may retreat together, and they may end the retreat. They may combine. In that case, however, blah blah blah. Yeah, so that's all there is to it.
Okay. So that's so that would be 2. 1, 2. I'm moving away from you and
Yep.
towards my map
Yep.
edge.
Yep. You're good. You're good. Now I do this
Mm-hmm.
because I have to move up.
Right.
Okay. So that was that close combat.
So your replacement leader, does he get to try a continuation, or he just is it finished?
Oh no, he gets to try a continuation. Assuming that I'm done with my close combats, which I'm not sure that
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Um, all right, well, let's go with the other obvious one. Meldrum is going to go ahead. Meldrum 1 is going to go ahead and close combat against Wentworth.
Okay.
No wing commander, morale differential. You're a 6, I'm a 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's +1.
Right.
Strength, I'm an 11. You're a 17.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a -1. So we're back even
Zero.
Steven.
Right.
Nothing on the close combat matrix, no pistol shots. However, you are being attacked on a flank.
Mm-hmm. So you got +1 then.
And a rear.
Okay, +2.
So that's +2. Nothing else applies.
Nope.
Nobody's formation broken or anything, so it's +2.
Mm-hmm.
A 6, defender morale shaken.
Okay.
Defender retreat 2 hexes. Attacker must advance into the vacated hex.
Well, see, in this case, let's see for morale shaken. So I think you have to correct me, but I think I'm going to have to pivot forward and go 2 hexes, fall into those directions. Because I got to get away from you, right?
Got to get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see.
So here's what I'm thinking I got to do. I got to rotate like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything about retreating and facing.
Okay. Because
I'm not seeing it.
I just wouldn't think that I would go sideways. I would have to go.
Yeah, that's it. But it doesn't really indicate anything about facing and retreat. There's advance and facing.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing about retreat and facing. Retreat priorities.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of weird. Hold on here a second. Let me search the tome.
Okay.
Okay, so the one thing it says here about 2 hex units in retreat, both halves of a 2 hex unit must retreat even if only one half was attacked. In other words, a 2 hex unit cannot retreat by pivoting.
So I can't pivot then, right?
You can't retreat by pivoting.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't necessarily mean that you can't pivot. It just means that the pivot doesn't count as
Oh,
the
right.
retreat.
I wasn't counting that. I was going to pivot,
Right.
and then I was going to
Right.
go 1,
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, that's what I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I just want to see if there's anything here about facing. Because I was just wondering about that with the retreat that I started to do.
Yeah.
I mean, do I retreat straight back or do I turn the other way and expose my rear, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, but if you in that case, you would have been morale broken, and there would have been no formation, and you would have gone backwards. It wouldn't have mattered at that point.
yeah, you're right. It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
But in this case, you're not formation broken.
Or shaken. So it just, I mean, yeah. So I would think I'd have to keep my formation there together and pivot and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not finding anything else about facing.
So we're just playing these rules really, really hard, and we found a hole in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think what you did is right. Okay, so I now have to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
So I'm going to raise this question. So I had to walk by. Is that considered movement to those guys, those dragoons?
In fact, it is.
That's what I thought.
Yep. In fact, it is. So
So
I should be able to get 2 shots at you.
Right. And then do I get 2 shots in return from my flank?
No, because you're the moving. If I were firing at you because I was the phasing player and attacking,
Yeah, then that'd be the case. Okay.
then you would, but you don't get to return fire because this is reaction fire. You don't get to react to reaction fire.
Right. I just double checking, but no, I
Yeah.
agree. You got 2 shots.
Yep. Okay. 2 shots, dragoons. First one, I think they get a +1 because of their strength point. Yep. A 7, which is a miss. Second one,
Miss.
a 3, 4, which is also a miss. So yeah, the dragoons fired at you, but nothing happened. All right. So none of the rest of these do I have enough. Doesn't make sense to close assault or close combat on any of the rest of these. It'd be an even up attack or slightly to my negative.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to have too many victories like that we did earlier.
No, I'm not counting on that one. Be nice if it happens, but I'm not counting on it. So I get to try a continuation. So it's a 0 to 3, and I don't get a plus anything. And I fail.
Okay.
So he's done.
So I guess it's Astley now.
Yep, it's Astley.
Okay. So first thing Astley's going to do, he's going to activate
King Charles, if nothing else, to get him the hell out of there.
Let's see what's this guy's situation. Morale shaken, formation broken. He can still move then now, right? Formation shaken.
Which guy?
I'm just trying to decide whether I need to fix Byron or not.
Byron's formation broken. He can't move.
So I'd have to fix him and then hopefully get a continuation, then get King Charles out of there, which is what we're going to do.
Okay.
So first thing we're going to do is get his formation back to formation shaken. Okay, we're taking the change. Okay, so the next thing these guys are going to do is, what's this guy's? Wentworth's going to have to he's out of command right now, so he's got to move to get back in command.
Right.
So tell me if I'm doing this right or wrong. I need to pivot backward. I mean,
yeah, you're going to have to pivot 1,
2.
2 at least.
And that's probably the end of my movement. It would be a morale shaken, right?
Morale doesn't impact movement.
Oh, okay.
Formation hits impact movement.
All right.
So he's still got 4. You're actually going to probably have to pivot more than 2. So that's 1, and he's there.
All right. And then the second one.
And he's there. He's still not in command, though.
No. I guess I'm going to have to pivot one more so I can start moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because even though I can't go. I guess I could go forward, but I can't really go forward.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but it's not going to get him back in command, and it's obvious that it's not going to get him back in command.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, he's got to do that.
So that's 3.
That's 3.
4.
And then 4, right. And he's done.
Okay. I thought his move is not 6, it's a cavalry.
No, cavalry's 8.
Uh-huh.
Light infantry is 6.
Okay, these guys are 4.
And those guys are 4.
Okay, well, at least he's heading in the right direction, and he's not showing his rear to anybody anymore.
Right.
Okay. Then let's just go on. So then let's move on over to Gerard, and they're going to be doing a salvo fire back.
No, they're not.
Why?
Because they already did salvo fire.
I thought you'd do salvo fire twice, but it'd be a -1.
Ooh, you do salvo fire 1 time per turn.
Okay, it's just the -1 means like it's a -1 to regular musket fire then.
Right, it's just frontal.
Right, okay. That's what I forgot about. Okay, so it's going to be...
Yep, it's a -1. Frontal
plus...
Frontal fire -1.
What's more than that? -3 because of casualties. No, yeah, -2, sorry.
You're firing from Gerard?
Yeah, I'm down 2.
Yeah, it's -1 per 2.
Right, so it'll be a -2 to my shot. One for the salvo, one because of salvo fire, one because of.
Oh, right. I thought you were just talking about the casualties. Yeah.
Total -2.
You're -2. Yep, -2. -1 for having done salvo fire, and -1 for the casualty. Correct.
Right. And we're firing on the front.
Yep, on the front table.
And miss.
And miss.
And the second
Clean
shot.
miss. Second shot.
Oh, that one didn't.
Ooh, there you go. That's a 7.
Well, that's 2 hits, isn't it? Yeah.
That's 2 hits. That is 2 hits, which is actually enough to cause a morale check +1. Or no, cause a morale check. Not a +1 because it wasn't salvo fire.
Okay.
And he passes.
Close.
Close, but he still passed.
All right.
All right, so you get it back. And I'm -6. I'm -3 on the frontal. -4 actually. No good. Nothing. And nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, that casualty thing.
Makes it
that really changes this.
Well, it's almost as big as the learning that what the Army Commander can do.
Yeah, It's huge.
Okay, Beasley. He's for casualties.
Bellicise? Yeah,
Oh, Belisai.
Bellicise.
For casualties, he's
Yeah.
a -2, and then because of salvo, so he's a
Salvo -3.
-3 total.
Yep.
Oh, 4. That's at least one hit.
4. Yep. I think that's a one hit. On frontal. Yep. That's one hit.
And miss.
Nothing. Okay. So, again, I'm -6, so that's -3.
Well, isn't it? Yeah, -3, then the salvo, so you're -4 on the dyro.
Yeah. Now, what did you roll? How many did you have down? -2, -3. You
Yeah,
should have been -3.
right.
Yeah,
-3.
that's right. You were. You rolled a 7. Yeah.
7.
Okay, -4.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
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 Yeah, those aren't bad type returns.
It's interesting how, boy, the firepower of these units really drop fast.
Mm-hmm. Now for
Okay.
now for Byron.
Yep.
Byron's okay. Byron's going to be -4 coming into you.
Yep.
Oh.
Still got a hit.
Mm-hmm. And my second shot. Oh, sweet.
Still got 2 hits.
2 casualties. Another 200 men.
Yep. Yep. And so that puts me at 11, and my morale is 6. So that is a morale check +1. First thing is to see if the leader dies, which he does not. Morale check +1 passes. All right. 18 to 11 -7, so I'm a -4 again.
Okay.
-6. I'm formation shaken.
Oh.
-6.
Ooh, okay.
It was a -4 and then -2 for the information shaken.
Mm-hmm.
So it's -6. A 1, which on a frontal is still a hit.
Okay, 1 casualty.
They stung you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. 1 hit.
Okay.
I'll take it.
But I don't think I have to roll for morale, do I? Or do I?
No, you're not, because you're an 8.
Okay.
If you were a 6, you would have had to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we're time for continuation. Unless you're going to try to stop me.
Unless you're going to do close combat.
No, not yet.
Okay. So you're going to try for a continuation?
Yeah, I think we want to pound you some more here.
I'm going to try for a preemption then.
Okay. From who?
Fielding.
Okay.
It's the only person I can preempt with. Oh, actually, I could try preempting with Ramsey.
Yep, you could.
I'm going to try preempting with Ramsey.
Okay.
So he's got charge orders, and he preempts on a 0 to 4, -1 because he's a cavalry wing. And he does not come anywhere close.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 9 that I can't roll when I'm firing. So he gets a no continue.
Mm-hmm. Now that should have been another. We didn't need to have another counter out there.
I know.
Well, maybe they wanted to make it totally obvious.
I guess.
Okay, now.
Now here's the thing. If I want to, I can try also from fielding.
Okay.
Do I want to? I do not want to.
Hey, did we ever move the turn up to turn 7?
Yeah,
Okay, good. I was
yeah,
thinking, okay, we hadn't done that. Okay, good. I'm glad.
yep. No, we did.
I was thinking we were going to get this was going to slow us down to a dead crawl here when the infantry blocks got into it. But I did. Then but what really slowed us down is that casualty thing. Now we're not shooting like maniacs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's totally different.
Hmm.
All right, so you can roll for continuation.
Yep. You're not going to try preempting me anymore.
No, huh? 0 to 3 -1. Oh wait, you're adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't matter. Still 0 to 3. 0 to 3 -1.
You sure? Oh, because the wing commander.
Yeah, because you're wing commander.
Yeah.
Because of Astley. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Because that.
It only impacts being adjacent to an enemy unit. Only impacts the orders change.
Okay. That's because it's right underneath the. I've got wing commander adjacent to enemy unit that's not morale broken.
That is not on the continuation and preemption table on the current player aid card.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll go with that one then. That's fine with me.
It is +1 on the orders change table
Yep.
if
Which
the leader is adjacent to enemy unit, not morale broken.
okay. So that's the difference because it's only on the chart I'm going after. It's not on the order change table. It's only on the continuation table.
Yeah, it's only on the order change table
Okay.
here, and
Okay.
this is the version 7 one. So
Yeah. We'll go with yours. Yeah. We'll go with yours.
yep, this is the official one.
Okay. So it's just 0 to 3.
0 to 3 -1.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and activate my buddy Ramsey.
Oh, son of a gun!
What's that?
I made a tactical error. I had forgotten about my broken infantry block back there.
Yeah, I know you did.
Oh, son of a gun! He's going to walk off the table. No way they.
Yeah, he is.
No way.
I saw that, and I wasn't going to say anything.
No, you did right. I should have looked the entire map board over because that should have been my first move of King Charles.
Yep. All right, so I just moved the Earl of Essex up here.
So that makes up for you losing your leader, maybe.
Yep, a little bit. Yeah, it does. It's the same count.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Ramsey. Yeah, move this no continue marker here. He has no choice, actually.
But am I missing a leader?
He's not in charge. He's not in charge. He's actually in rally.
Mm-hmm. Did I lose another wing commander that I forgot about?
You know, I think you did.
Was he in the dead pile?
Hold on. Well, no, because remember sending stuff to the dead pile. No, you've got Wilmot clear up here, almost off map.
Where at?
Look
Oh,
to the
there he is.
yeah.
There he is.
Wilmot's clear up there in rally.
Yeah, my map was too zoomed in, I guess.
Yeah, so I can't activate Ramsey. I have to activate Fielding. Because Ramsey should have been in rally, not charge. And in fact, just to be fair, Ramsey could not have done a preemption.
Mm-hmm.
It has to have been Fielding that did the preemption.
Okay.
So, given that, let's do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gonna do
We have to do some
reaction fire there?
Yeah, so when you move from my flank right into that one guy, I guess.
Yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Those dragoons take reaction fire.
One hit. 6.
It's flank. Yeah, it is one hit. Okay. Bedford is going to.
Is that pretty much threshold?
Yeah, that guy's a casualty threshold.
So what does that mean? Is he take a morale check?
No, not unless he takes another hit.
If he takes another hit, he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if Bedford was part of Balfour or part of Fielding. Can't remember. But I can figure out pretty quick. Hold on here.
Oh, he's part of Balfour's part of Balford because of that morale is 8. That's where all the 8s came from.
It's Bedford.
Oh, I'm looking at
not Balfour. He's Bedford. And yes, he is part of Balfour.
Oh, okay, Bedford.
Yeah. So in that case, 1, 2, 3. And he's got no continue.
You gonna melee? You gonna close combat?
Oh hell no!
Come on.
I am gonna be right there to look at you though. So yeah, there's no continuation there. Should have done something with that cavalry, but yeah, so he can't continue. So he's done. They can't shoot or nothing.
Mm-hmm. So now
we can just glare at you.
We're back to Wilmot now.
Yeah. So it's Wilmot.
And let's see, what's this guy? Yep. So he just needs to change his orders.
Right.
Let's see here. We're gonna try for make ready.
Okay.
At -1. Or I guess
0 to 4. -1.
We'll do this. We'll be generous. We're going to try for the 0.
You know what?
We're going to try to make it to charge. No, 0 to 1 from rally. No. We'll try for make ready.
Yeah, you're looking at the wrong numbers because the chart's been changed.
Okay.
You cannot. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Rally is 0 to 1. That's correct. Yep, you're right.
We're going to go with make ready. We'll try from that
direction. All right, 0 to 4, -1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
How about that? 5 -1, 4.
You got it. You're make ready.
Okay. And I don't like the facing of him, the leader. Wrong way, David. Okay.
There you go.
Now these guys are together. A little bit better. Okay, so now I guess I'm gonna try for a continuation for him.
Yeah. Okay, you don't want to move?
Oh, I can move now too, right? Yeah, we're gonna move first.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just did a order change. The actual unit that he's on didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's still got 8 movement points.
Okay. Let's do some rotations here. 1, 2. Is that right? Is that the right? That was Wilmot. It was moving, wasn't it?
Yep, you didn't get the unit.
Let's try that again. 1, 2.
Correct.
That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
8. Okay.
Can't do that. He's in make ready.
Oh, that's right. So how about there?
Yep.
And we'll change her from. We'll do one more rotation then for our last 8.
Yep.
I went the wrong way. I don't know how they get those. Okay. Now we'll try for a continuation. You gonna try to preempt me with Ramsey?
Can't. Ramsey's in rally.
That's true. Okay. Then I will try a continuation. And I need a 0 to 2 minus 1, right?
You're in make ready. Yeah, 0 to 2, and you're a -1 to the die roll.
Nope.
Not today.
Come on.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to pull him out of there completely.
How about that? I got him. He's starting to be a
Because
pain.
when they're underneath like that, yeah, I mean, I can't even see him or Rupert at this point because they're underneath.
Real? I thought I put him on top.
Nope.
Now can you see him?
So no. Yeah, pull him out.
Okay.
Click anywhere except on him or the other unit
Okay.
so that he's deselected. Okay, now click on him again
Uh-huh. Put him back.
and back and see if that doesn't put him. Yep, that put him on top.
Okay.
Now double click the whole stack.
It's not. I guess it's together.
Yeah, no, that's good. You're good. Okay, yeah. And it's the same deal over here with Rupert for me.
Okay, so it's over to Rupert now.
There we go. There's Rupert. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so it's Ramsey. And Ramsey's in rally.
Uh-huh.
So Ramsey's going to automatically get to do a reform action on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Making him formation shaken. And I'm pretty sure. So the Musketeers also do a reform action because they're in rally. So I think they have to do a morale check. I think if you're not with the leader, you have to do a morale check. But let me just double check that. Attempting to rally unless being rallied by the army commander or its wing commander in the same hex. All right, so 4 or less. Hey, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know why he has that. No, there we go. Hit the wrong thing. I didn't know you could do that. That's useful.
What? Drawing on the unit.
Yeah, you can do the mark a unit, highlight a unit with Control Z.
Oh, okay.
That's something useful that we could have been using because we keep going. Yeah, it's that unit over there.
Uh-huh.
Well, what unit over where? All right, just for shits and giggles. I can't do a continuation. So he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, he's not done. He's going to activate the Earl of Essex, who is going to undo the morale shaken bit here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, formation shaken.
No, he was both morale shaken and formation shaken.
Oh, that's true. Okay. So you're just taking
And I'm
care.
more concerned about his morale than I am his formation status.
Mm-hmm.
Formation, if he's formation broken, he's not routed.
Right.
Okay, so now it's route phase, and that means
My guy moves 4 down here.
he moves 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Yep.
I'd have to be extremely lucky to get him, but who knows?
Yep. I'm not sure that. I mean, if you do nothing but send Charles after him, you might get to him. Maybe.
Yeah.
You might. All right, so that's the end of 7. Puts us on to 8.
Yeah. Let's fix it up and then put it off till next week. It's getting kind of.
All right.
Because it's going to take almost an hour and a half to do the next turn, I think.
Oh, I know. Particularly with all the.
Because right now we're just at a slugfest. I didn't see any advantage
Right.
of doing a close combat with you.
Well, that's it. We're both. Nobody's got significant positive modifiers on the close combat on the line.
Right.
So, that doesn't make any sense. This is basically headed for a draw again.
Oh, I know, because we're even right now we're still at a draw.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see anything significant enough happening. I mean, one of us could roll even worse than I did tonight, and maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if Essex or Charles snuffs it,
Mm-hmm. That would be enough.
that would be bad.
Yeah, might take.
I think it's maybe an automatic lose. Hey, look here. I think if Charles dies, it may be an automatic, hey, pack it up. But not necessarily Essex. But let me look here.
I mean,
King Charles eliminated is 50 points.
Right. I mean, that almost makes it a
Yeah. Yeah, it would be bad if Charles would die. If Essex dies, it's 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be bad. But yeah, so a decisive royalist victory is, or decisive parliamentary victory is 11 points to Parliament or more.
Mm-hmm. That would make it pretty hard for the
Yeah,
royalists to win if you lose Charles.
yeah, yeah. The royalists basically lose if they lose Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be, at this point, you can get a marginal royalist victory at -30 to -49.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm
And
anywhere.
yeah, I don't think. Mm-mm.
Neither one of us are that
I
close.
mean, I'm not saying let's not play it out, but I'm pretty sure this is a draw.
Well, then it just shows you actually this scenario, this rule set is
Uh-huh.
because that's what it was, a draw.
It was. It was pretty much a draw. It was a, again, despite the position of our Cavalier friend,
Mm-hmm.
even he goes on page after page after page, justifying how it really was a royalist victory.
Yep. I made another error tonight. When it was because
Oh yeah,
but look at what two artillery pieces could have done to the flank to
yeah,
that one block. I missed that too.
yep, yep. Yeah.
If they hit,
Well, if they hit,
right.
right.
But if they
Yeah.
hit, that would have been well because you're almost to your threshold.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that guy's not in great shape. Meldrum's not in great shape.
No, okay. I guess I had it zoomed. I had it zoomed out so far enough to take a look at some of the pieces. I missed that one.
It's really easy to get caught up in the melee, right? I
Right.
mean, that's
Well, it's a fog of the war. All the leaders are up there. That's
right.
fine. So
Right.
I can
Everybody's buried in the fight.
I can see that happening, and those are not professional artillery guys back there. They're on coffee break right now,
Right. They're done.
or tea break, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, and in fact, um, it would not have been unusual that they would have been told not to fire just by virtue of the fact that hearing artillery fire behind them
Mm-hmm.
might have spooked the infantry enough, the royalist infantry enough, that they panicked.
Yeah.
That did actually happen, and that's actually largely what happened at Germantown during the American Revolution. Is Greene's troops heard cannon fire behind them. That was actually the American assault on that house, not British artillery fire. It was American artillery fire that they heard, and then they got run into by that what's his name,
Mm-hmm.
the drunk guy, and that was enough, right? I mean, they were convinced when they heard all that firing behind them, and then suddenly they were getting fired on. They were convinced that they'd been outflanked.
Ah.
So, given that this is the first battle of the English Civil War, and particularly none of the infantry are that skilled.
Oh yeah, that was evident from from the book.
Yeah, I mean, hearing cannon fire behind them might have been enough to get those guys to go, "We're getting out of here," right?
Yeah, right.
That did happen in these kind of battles. I mean, Wimpfen, which is another battle that we have both here in this series and in Horse and Musket. The Protestants, this battle during the 30 Years' War, the Protestants basically break and flee because a stray Catholic cannon round causes an ammunition wagon to their rear to explode.
Oh.
And it causes the Protestant infantry to freak, even though they are in a prepared position, and they basically break. So it doesn't take much in this era for nervous infantry to decide to pack it in if they hear explosions to their rear. They think they're getting flanked. Yeah, so no, I mean you could be you could be in a little bit of a problem with this cavalry up here that's facing this fresh infantry brigade.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that might throw some parliamentary points. On the other hand,
I mean, you could. That's the same thing that happened already once, and I survived. So we'll see.
yeah, I mean, well, they didn't get to shoot last time. They're going to get to shoot this time, unless you clear out of there.
Well, I probably won't be staying. I'll just but y'all get a passing shot at me as soon as I move away.
Yeah, and if you're in charge, you don't get to move away.
Nope. Might just
so you'd have to think about changing the order. Now, the parliamentary infantry line is not in staggeringly great shape either. So, it's. I don't think there's enough here for anybody to get a decisive victory, but
the initiative just changed too because of Balfour's demise. Because Astley's going to go before the current commander is.
Correct.
So we'll get the first shot this time with a salvo. I gotta get rid of my salvo markers, don't I?
Right.
Wonder why that wasn't taken off the way the other ones.
Yeah, there's just little things with this module. I really should go in and clean this module up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like what's going on here? Had the wrong unit.
There you go.
Okay. Ah, gosh, darn it. Did I scoot this guy over for some reason?
A little bit, yeah. It's okay. We'll get him out of there.
How's
there
that?
You go.
How's that?
There you go.
All right. I think we're good.
Yep. Yeah, so, the Royalists are a little bit outnumbered on infantry. I've got one more brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Two more brigade. Well, one more brigade. Because I assume that you're going to eventually get Wentworth back in the fight. But yeah, Fielding's about to run off the field.
Yeah, we'll have to try to catch you if I can remember to do that.
Yeah, I don't see any way this doesn't go to a draw again.
Yeah. Well, and the casualty minuses only help it go to a draw.
Right. Yeah, because nobody's going to be nearly as prone to shoot the other side up.
Right. That's what happened last time because we were shooting, and then we were able to do close combat. This time it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the close combat situation.
Yeah, nobody's got.
I honestly think before we get to that point, time's going to run out.
Time's going to run out. Yeah, that's where I'm seeing it too. I don't see either side being able to cause enough attrition through fire combat. Which I mean, it changes things. It actually really creates the situation where, okay, so what I really should do is I should roll up, I should fire a volley, and then I should charge. Right off, as opposed to sitting here and doing a lot of attrition fire and getting into an extended firefight in an open field because eventually we just both become so weak that nobody can do anything. But that means that your close combat is going to be a much dicier thing.
Right.
It also argues for you probably want to maneuver a little bit so that maybe you can get a couple of infantry brigades on one, or, and I've actually been thinking about this, regardless of what happened in the historical battle, or actually because of what happened in the historical battle, the way we've used cavalry, both of us, it has been less effective than it needed to be, because you really need the cavalry, right? If you can throw the cavalry in, good, reasonably intact cavalry, into a flank attack when you're doing a frontal attack with your infantry on a single infantry unit, then you got a decent chance.
Yeah.
Right?
But this, I don't think it would happen at Edgehill very often.
Well, no, because the two sides are too equal.
Right, and the cavalry seems to, every time we play, the cavalry seems to get mixed up pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You have to decide if you're going to Rupert. Really, it's the Royalists can control the tempo of that. Because it's pretty stupid for the Parliament horse to charge.
Right. But I thought Rupert had to charge. That's just Rupert.
Well, yeah, you're kind of obligated, right?
You got to keep up the historical fact of Rupert.
You got to keep up the historical fact that the Cavaliers are going to charge no matter what. But I mean, I think it does really illustrate the problems the Royalists had with Rupert as their cavalry commander through the entire war. That, his tactics at pure cavalry engagements were probably advantageous because he was an aggressive cavalry commander. But when the cavalry was to be used as battle cavalry on the field to support infantry, it didn't go so well because he was always charging off. And then it got really bad for him when Parliament reformed its horse under Cromwell. Because by that point, the Royalists no longer had a qualitative edge. And that's where you get to Marston Moor, and the Royalist cavalry basically gets their asses handed to them.
Well, you'd be happy to know we've had 8 people with us for most of the night tonight.
Wow, that's cool.
Yep, and I think my friend out in Tacoma, Washington, has got his wife watching it with him tonight.
Wow.
So what's usually on
It must
Thursday?
be boring in Tacoma.
or there's no good TV shows on.
Right, there's no good TV shows on.
I
hope the people were watching wanted to learn about the English Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yep. So let's go ahead and close it out for tonight, and I guess we'll have another slugfest next week.
Yeah, we've still got turns to play. I don't know that we're.
Who knows if we go that all the way to the end or not?
Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious it's going to be a draw unless something crazy happens. But
I think with Balfour's demise was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was. It does change things.
There's only a 10% chance of it happening, and it sure did.
Yep, it did. Now,
I guess with the number of shots, it's going to happen at least once, so sometime. But
it could.
That's almost 3 games we've played, and I think that's the first time that we actually lost somebody.
I think it may have been. I'm trying to remember. I think we might have.
Well, the very first game, I don't think we did, but then we determined it really wasn't because we did something wrong or something, I thought.
Right. Yeah, right. I think that's exactly right. Yep.
But yeah.
All right. Well.
Okay. Thanks for everybody for watching, and check in next week at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Or what? -4 Universal UTC.
Right.
-4 UTC. Okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll talk to everybody and check in later. So we'll go ahead and check out here. Let's see here. How do I do this?